Hi everybody, it's May 29th in the afternoon, and this video is about the upcoming hurricane season. Now, I'm going to tell you what FEMA is doing, or one of the things that FEMA is doing to prepare, actually to react. What the Coast Guard has just put out in a message even to us in the auxiliary, and what you should be doing as the hurricane season approaches, and it's only a couple days away. All right. So here, what FEMA? So FEMA, FEMA not only prepares for disasters, but they respond, right? And so they asked, well, they're having the Civil Air Patrol do it now, but also they asked the Coast Guard Auxiliary if they can't provide people to go through the training to help categorize the buildings that have been damaged during a disaster. And so a bunches of us, to include me, spent many hours. So I guess I went through some 400 buildings in the Tampa area, looking at them before the hurricane and after Hurricane Milton, and to see what would have changed. And so I had to categorize the buildings as unaffected or affected, minor, major, destroyed. Okay, so I only got a couple wrong, and so I passed it. So now, and if there's if depending on where things get hit, where there's damage, they're probably going to ask us, okay, here's before and after pictures. You need to code each building how to do this. So that's one of the things FEMA is doing. The Civil Air Patrol does it, and now they're having the auxiliary do it. Now, what the Coast Guard did, they just published a message to all of us, reminding us to be prepared for the hurricane. You know, having a gallon of water per day for probably 3 days. Now, these storms are getting stronger, so maybe 3 days isn't enough anymore. Okay, so just have your supply of a gallon per day per person. Now, we always have water on supply. We always have bunches of water on hand, but now's a good time to go get the water. You know, don't be that person who, as the storm's going on, you can say, "Oh, I need to run to the store and get water." Well, it's a little late then. Okay, so that's water. Also, check your flashlights. Okay, make sure they're functional. Make sure you have spare batteries for your flashlights. Okay, do that. Also, the infamous toilet paper. All right, if you're going to run out in the storm anyway to stock up on toilet paper, so you might as well try to do it now. Okay, and of course, get some canned food. You know, we just had in our area, in the Fairfax County, the Northern Virginia area, we just had a big storm a couple weeks ago, last week maybe, and lots of people lost power. Not us. Lots of people lost power for like 27 hours or something like that. Okay, and I don't know. Somebody was spreading the word that if your refrigerator's out of power for 4 hours, all the food's bad, and if your freezer's out of power for I think it was 16 hours, everything's bad. Well, nobody in my family believes that. But a lot of people were throwing out a lot of food. So anyway, now it is true though, if power is out for a couple days, then things will go bad, okay? So you might want to stock up on some canned foods, okay? And the last thing, I think they're called charger banks, the power banks for your cell phones and such. You should, like we got like 4 of the things laying around. So we're going to make sure they're charged up. So you should make sure you have at least a couple of those, I guess they're called power banks, had some of them laying around. What was the other thing? But really, the storms are getting worse for whatever reason. Whatever reason, the storms are getting worse. So please be prepared. So FEMA's leaning forward to help get people qualified to document the damage per building within an affected area. That way they can better focus their efforts. Coast Guard just put out a message. Hey, Coast Guard Auxiliary, be prepared. Have your water, have this, have that, have that, have that, right? That's why I'm telling you. All right, things happen. It doesn't hurt to have a supply of water, especially now that hurricane season comes in. It doesn't hurt to check your flashlights and have batteries for them. It doesn't hurt to stock up on, yes, toilet paper and canned food. If you're going to lose power for a couple days, think about the folks in North Carolina and Florida for Milton. They were out of power for a long time. All right. So you don't want to be that person that after 3 days you're completely out of edible food because you didn't think ahead. So be prepared. Have some non-perishable food, and then be prepared. Have a means to power up your cell phones. Assuming cell phone service will still exist, you might as well be prepared to be able to use it. All right. So June 1st, hurricane season begins. So do what you got to do.